the lockdowns were harming people at scale, hundreds of millions of people, 140 million people at risk of starvation. According to the World Food Program, the World Bank says 100 million people thrown into dire poverty. The UN putting out reports of children being sold into sexual slavery and child labor because the families in poor countries were so poor that they had no choice. There was either starve or do that with their kids because of the lockdowns. Of course, in the United States, the schools closed at scale for in my state of California. It was for up to a year and a half. My kids didn't see the inside of a classroom. Depression. 1 in 4 young adults seriously considering suicide. In June 2020, in a CDC survey. I mean, all of that was just like it was just there, obvious that what the right strategy was. Like protect the vulnerable as best you can, given this is a highly transmissible disease, and then don't harm the livelihoods of poor children and working class people. That was it was utterly obvious. But people needed somebody to say it, right? They needed somebody who was like official sounding, right? So that like my co-authors, the Great Barrington Declaration, one was she's an Oxford professor, I think the best epidemiologist in the world, Sunetra Gupta, and then Martin Kulldorff, who's one of the very top biostatisticians in the world at Harvard, and then me at Stanford. And so because we'd had that. I hate using authority like this, but that was partly the reason why. It was like you had to counter the WHO, the NIH, the all of these like top scientific bodies saying you must lock down or else you're going to die. But that was so fragile because that consensus was false, that the lockdowns were the way to solve the pandemic. And so the Great Barrington Declaration was a severe threat just because of that challenge to authority